What is up, disc golfers? Today on Iceberg TV, I want to show you guys how to use a crosswind to your advantage so you have an advantage out there on the course against your friends and your competitors. Now, if you guys like this type of video, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. So I have you guys strategically placed so we have a pretty strong left to right crosswind coming through. And crosswinds can be confusing at first, but when you think about it like this, it becomes a lot less confusing. All you need to think about is where the top of the disc is and where the bottom of the disc is. So let's say we're doing a backhand throw. We pretty much have two options. We can throw it with the bottom of the disc facing the wind or the top of the disc facing the wind. And this dictates what the wind is going to do to your disc. If you have the bottom of the disc in the wind, your disc is going to get carried by the wind, and you're going to get a little bit more turn and a little bit more distance than you normally would. So it's a really good time to try and get those big distance shots as long as you keep the bottom of the disc in the wind. So I'm going to throw one like that so you guys can see what it looks like. I just use mid-ranges for today's video just to show you guys. So we have the bottom of the disc in the wind. You can see the disc really just wants to carry on that line for a really long time. Now we have the inverse of that, where we're throwing the disc on hyzer, where the top of the disc is actually going to have the disc being pushed down by the wind. This is going to get you a little bit less distance, but it's really nice when you're approaching the basket, so you can have a little bit more confidence that your disc is just going to come down and not really get away from you as much. So we'll do a hyzer as well, so you guys can see one just get pushed down by the wind. You can see once it starts to hyzer, it just really wants to drop. So it's pretty simple when you're working with these crosswinds, when you understand that the top of the disc and the bottom of the disc dictate exactly what's going to happen. So if you're lining up a huge distance shot, you definitely want to be exposing the bottom of the disc to the wind. And when you're approaching the basket, you want to expose the top of the disc to the wind. I tend to stick to more neutral discs, so not something super overstable and not something super understable. In windier situations, these discs can be a lot more likely to get away from you. But if you find that perfect neutral disc, you can really crush some huge distance shots, which can be a lot of fun. Like I have this MD1 Mindbender here. These are surprisingly more stable than you think. It's really fun to just toss it out there and let it ride the wind for distance. You can see, just wants to stay on turn, just getting a huge, massive carry. But then once the top of the disc gets exposed to the wind, it just falls out of the sky. So you basically, if you're going for distance, you want to fend off that. Once that nose comes up and it starts to fade, it's just going to drop. So the longer you can have that disc holding a turn, the more you can exacerbate that big distance. And then what you can do with your disc selection when you're approaching the basket is choose less glidey, more overstable discs, and you can really exacerbate using this left to right wind for your approach shot. So we're going to come up here. You can see once that disc starts to fade, it's just gets pushed right down. So you can use these winds to your advantage and help dominate your friends out on the course. Now, if the wind is coming the other way, you can use all the same principles for forehand throws, or for you lefties out there, it works all the exact same. So just think about where's the top of your disc and where's the bottom of your disc. So just one final recap. Expose the bottom of the disc for glide and distance. Expose the top of the disc for less glide and less distance. But I hope this information helped you today. You're watching Iceberg TV. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment below, and take care.